Hello! An explanation as to what I'll be doing today. Tenacious D is a comedic rock duo consisting of Jack Black and Kyle Gass. They make music, and it's funny. And an iceberg is a big piece of a glacier. The reason why it's so important for this video is because an iceberg is deep and hides most of its body underwater. And these iceberg charts of cool fun facts and trivia that get more obscure the more you go down the iceberg have been floating around social media for a while, so I've decided to hop onto the trend, even though I'm super late to it. But anyways, welcome to the Tenacious D Iceberg. However, a couple disclaimers first before I start. The first thing is that this is my first YouTube video in well over 2 years, so I'm a bit rusty when it comes to video making, so my visuals and editing might not be the greatest, so don't expect this to be a great visual or editing masterpiece. But hey, you can just put this video on in the background while doing something else, so the visuals won't be a bother. Second is that the iceberg itself was made by me and has well over 50 entries, but it still may be missing some stuff I might have glossed over or have some mistakes, so if you think I missed anything or got something wrong, please tell me in the comments. The third thing I have to mention is that this is a Tenacious D iceberg, and while some Jack Black solo stuff will appear on this list, I tried to keep it to a minimum, so if you think I forgot to mention something more related to just Jack Black, like the Peaches song from the Mario movie, that's because this is a Tenacious D iceberg and not a Jack Black iceberg. Fourth, and also last disclaimer, is that because I'm going to be discussing Tenacious D in this video, there will be some sexual stuff mentioned throughout, so if you're not comfortable hearing me say cock, dick, penis, and other various naughty words like fuck and sex, then this video probably isn't for you. And now, without further delay, here is the Tenacious D Iceberg Explained. Tier 1. Tribute. Tribute is the second single on the band's first album and also the second song they ever came up with. It is also one of their most popular songs, with the official music video having over 125 million views on YouTube. It follows the story of Jack and Kyle as they encounter a demon and must play the greatest song in the world or have their souls eaten. The duo then play the greatest song in the world. However, later on they can't remember how it sounded, hence the song itself instead being a tribute to the greatest song in the world. Drive-Thru. Drive-Thru isn't actually a song and more of a skit, a common thing to see on the band's first album as they made quite a few of these. This one is about Kyle and Jack ordering from a drive-thru, and it is a very funny and classic Tenacious D track. Drive-Thru is pretty well known as an older meme, and was a very popular video to upload on YouTube in its earlier years, as there are quite a few re-uploads of the song that are quite old. Self-titled album. Also known as just Tenacious D, this is the first album the band made, being released in 2001, and has quite a few Tenacious D classics on it, as the already mentioned Tribute, Drive-Thru, as well as its other single, Wonder Boy. There are also a few more songs I would mention, but I believe they would be better discussed in the next entry. YTP Sound Sources. Okay, so YouTube Poop, or YTPs for short, are these video mashups created by editing together pre-existing media into these wacky brand new videos. These types of videos can pull from whatever media its creator wants to use. However, there are a few clips and sound effects that are very popular to use in these, such as the clips from the Zelda CDI cutscenes. Some Tenacious D clips I would consider to be classic YTP sounds, like the
"Up your ass"
from Drive-Thru,
"I'm gonna fuck you"
from Fuck Her Gently, the devil screaming in Beelzebub, various clips from Double Team and Kielbasa, and basically the whole swearing bit from Inward Singing, especially
"Fuck you!
Fuck, 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 fuck! Penis! Penis! Pussy! Pussy! Dick! Dick!
Jack Black's acting career. Where do I even start with this entry? I mean, outside of Tenacious D, Jack Black is an incredibly famous actor known for starring in such films as Orange County, School of Rock, Kung Fu Panda, and most recently as voicing Bowser in the Super Mario Bros. Movie. I just thought it was an important detail to bring up as an entry because Jack's acting career is more well known than Tenacious D itself.
That's just a taste.
Just a taste of what's coming, huh?
That's the tip of the iceberg.
All right.
Tier 2. The Pick of Destiny. Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny is a 2006 buddy comedy movie about the righteous tale of Cage and Jables needing to get money to pay their rent, and to do so, they obtain the Pick of Destiny so they can play a jam so tasty they can pay the rent with their rock. In all honesty, it's an amazing cult classic with a fantastic soundtrack which doubles as the band's second album, featuring more classic D tracks such as Kickapoo, Master Exploder, Beelzebub, and The Metal. However, when the movie was released, it didn't do too well financially, making only $13.9 million in the worldwide box office, but as the movie's budget was $20 million and the marketing budget was even higher, it made it a really sad financial failure for the band. Band name origin. The name of the band comes from the phrase Tenacious Defense, which was coined by the NBA commentator Marv Albert. Kyle and Jack are big basketball fans and just thought it would be a funny name for their band. Nicknames. These are just the nicknames that both Jack Black and Kyle Gass commonly go by in songs and other material. For Jack Black, it's Jables and JB, and for Kyle Gass, it's Cage, Rage Cage, or KG. If you can't already tell, these nicknames are just derived from combining the duo's first and last names. Wicked Game and Video Games. Wicked Game is a recently released shortened cover of a song of the same name by Chris Isaak, and has an accompanying music video of the duo running on the beach very, normally. And Video Games is a brand new Tenacious D song about how video games are more than just a mindless toy to grow out of. And the music video was done in collaboration with Oni NG. I'm bringing these songs up because even though they're pretty short, they're really new, at least for when I'm making this. So people are more likely to know them, especially Video Games, which has 24 million views on YouTube as of making this. Sax-a-boom. The Sax-a-boom was a children's toy of a plastic saxophone created sometime in the 90s and discontinued in the 2000s. Jack is known for bringing it out sometimes during concerts and playing it for the show. However, it is popularly known for being played on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, where in 2018, Jack Black was on the show and Jimmy Fallon brought out a Sax-a-boom for Jack to play on the show. Said clip then became a meme where people would change or remix the song that comes out of the Sax-a-boom. A very popular one that comes to mind for me is the edit of the song being changed to Megalovania from Undertale. The greatest band in the world. This is a funny self-given nickname of the band which originated in the Tenacious D TV show and other material which I will bring up again later. Jablinski Games. Jablinski Games is Jack Black's YouTube channel where he posts stuff every so often. The reason I'm bringing this up, even though I said I would try to keep Jack Black exclusive stuff to a minimum, is because Kyle Gass and Tenacious D stuff is mentioned kinda regularly from the videos I've seen. Plus there's a pretty well-known fact that Jack Black has his own gaming-related YouTube channel. Smoke Weed. This is more or less just a reference to the fact that the band talks quite a bit about smoking weed and are big supporters of its legalization. And I mean, since November 2016, it has been legalized for recreational use in California, which is where they're from, so good for them. Dave Grohl. Dave Grohl is a very well-known musician, known for being the drummer in Nirvana and the founder, lead singer, and guitarist of the Foo Fighters. He is also a friend of the D. He met the band through being invited to one of their shows and was really impressed by them, which started an ongoing friendship with the band. He was the drummer in quite a few of the master recordings of their songs, but when it comes to Tenacious D material, he is most known for playing the devil in the Pick of Destiny movie, and also for the song Beelzebub, where he does vocals, drums, and guitar. Tier 3. Rise of the Phoenix. Rise of the Phoenix is the band's third album released in 2012 and continues the band's same energy into a new decade. It includes the singles Rock is Dead, Low Hanging Fruit, and the song in which the album gets its name from, Rise of the Phoenix. The album also pokes fun at the fact that Pick of Destiny was a financial failure in the Rise of the Phoenix song, and also pokes fun at Jack for having a big acting career boom, while Kyle didn't have as big of an impact in the song Ballad of Hollywood Jack and the Rage Cage. It's a very good listen and also includes some skits, much like in their first album. But it would also be a shame if I didn't mention the Phoenix in the cover. I mean, just from looking at it, you can tell it's probably a little controversial to say the least, which is why they made a clean version of the cover and also included this funny little sticker on the CD release. Sadly, however, Spotify doesn't agree with the art of Tenacious D, and the cover is just the normal cover but pixelated, which is a shame. Show the cock, you damn cowards. GQ and Wired videos. This entry refers to the YouTube videos that Wired, but mostly GQ made with Tenacious D. Just little video interviews like Tenacious D replies to fans on the internet, and Jack Black breaks down his most iconic characters, which includes talking about the Pick of Destiny movie. Hot Ones. Hot Ones is an interview show hosted on the YouTube channel First We Feast, where the host, Sean Evans, eats hot wings with a celebrity guest that get progressively hotter and hotter while interviewing said guest. Tenacious D was on Hot Ones in 2018 to promote what is the next entry on this list, and it's also an entertaining watch. The interview also gave more insight into certain aspects of the band that were great use for this Iceberg too. Post-Apocalypto. Post-Apocalypto is the fourth studio album released in 2018, but much like The Pick of Destiny, the album works as a soundtrack, but not to a movie, but to a YouTube web cartoon about Jack and Kyle needing to survive a nuclear apocalypse to save Earth. Post-Apocalypto was made somewhat of a response to Trump running for presidency and winning in 2016, as it has some themes mocking the former president and his son. It also has to be one of the most, pornographic videos I've seen on YouTube. Like, seriously, it feels like a poorly animated porno at some point. It definitely deserves its age-restricted status. Dio. Ronnie James Dio is a well-known heavy metal singer known for being in such bands as Elf, Rainbow, Black Sabbath, the self-titled Dio, and Heaven and Hell. The reason I'm bringing him up is because on Tenacious D's first album, there's a song about him called Dio, about how he's getting too old and needs to pass the torch to the D, but they're still going to make a song about him. Dio actually ended up liking the song enough to have Jack and Kyle cameo in the music video for Push. Dio also appears in The Pick of Destiny in its first song, Kickapoo, to instruct young Jables to run away from home to Hollywood. John K. John K. is an animator known for both creating Ren and Stimpy and also grooming minors. I'd rather not mention him, but the reason I am is because he worked on the animated music videos for both Fuck Her Gently and Classico. David Cross, HBO, and the Complete Masterworks DVD. The reason why I'm putting these entries together is because they all have to do with the same thing, which is the Tenacious D TV show. First things first, David Cross is known for his role as Ian Hawke in the live-action Alvin and the Chipmunks movies. He's a friend of the band who not only invited them to open for the live version of Mr. Show, but also cast Jack in the TV version of the show and helped write the episodes of the Tenacious D TV show. He even appears in the episode Angel in Disguise as a random nun, now for HBO. HBO is the TV network the Tenacious D TV show was aired on. The show only has 3 episodes, but each episode has 2 segments, so overall there are 6 segments in total. Those being The Search for Inspirato, the previously mentioned Angel in Disguise, Death of a Dream, The Greatest Song in the World, The Fan, and Road Gig. Each episode has between 1 to 4 songs in it. Now for the last part of this entry, which is the Complete Masterworks DVD. It's a DVD that chronicles all the visual Tenacious D media up to November 2003, which includes footage from a concert, the previously mentioned TV show, shorts, recording and tour documentaries, music videos, and TV appearances. There's also a fun Easter egg on the back of the case where there's a framed green glowing pic labeled The Pick, which is cool because the Complete Masterworks came out before The Pick of Destiny, so in hindsight this is showing that The Pick of Destiny was being worked on at the time. The sauce. The sauce, or rocket sauce, is the liquid that Kyle pours into Jack's mouth in the TV show episode The Greatest Song in the World that causes Jack to win by shooting a fireball at the demon. However, said sauce is mentioned again in other Tenacious D songs and material, but typically as a metaphorical sauce, like in Beelzebub, with the line close to the end of the song, "We know your weakness, our rocket sauce." Kyle Gass in Kung Fu Panda and Brutal Legend. This entry is pretty self-explanatory, but I'll still go over it in detail anyways. Kung Fu Panda is a 2008 animated DreamWorks film starring Jack Black as Po the Panda. However, Kyle Gass has a brief cameo appearance in the movie as a pig who passes by Po when he's struggling to bring the noodle cart up to the Jade Palace.
Sorry, Po. We'll bring you back a souvenir.
And Brutal Legend is a 2009 action-adventure real-time strategy game where Jack Black plays the main character Eddie Riggs. Kyle has a bit more of a role in Brutal Legend than he did in Kung Fu Panda, where in this he's a cannoneer guy in a mission where you have to help him learn to aim his cannon, and the character's head is even modeled after Kyle.
I know the guy sent you to give me a hard time, but you know what? You can all fuck off.
AMH. If you're a Tenacious D or even just a Jack Black fan on TikTok or YouTube Shorts, you've probably seen at least one of these cover videos by the band AMH. These are honestly really well made, the lead singer does a bang up job at mimicking Jack's vocal tone, and they even got Jack Black himself to duet with them, which is really cool. Tier 4. Guitar Hero / Rock Band. Guitar Hero and Rock Band are both music rhythm games that use instrument-styled controllers to play them, and in these games there are quite a few Tenacious D songs. The Metal is in Guitar Hero 3, Master Exploder is in both Rock Band 2 and Guitar Hero Van Halen, Tribute and Rock Your Socks Off are DLC for Rock Band 2, and finally, Rise of the Phoenix is DLC for Rock Band 3. BlizzCon Concert. BlizzCon is a gaming convention about the company Blizzard Entertainment, and the band once played a show at BlizzCon in 2010. The reason why this is more of a standout concert than other Tenacious D concerts is that Dave Grohl performed with them live, which is really cool because it's the only time this has happened before. However, it was a bit strange during the concert that he didn't actually provide the vocals for Beelzebub. Appearances on TV shows. Kyle and Jack have appeared together in quite a few TV shows. They were puppets on Crank Yankers and performed Friendship. They were also on Space Ghost Coast to Coast, on Mad TV playing Tribute and Lee with Dave Grohl on drums. They were also featured together on the first episode of Tom Goes to the Mayor. And finally, Jack and Kyle performed Master Exploder live on Late Night with Conan O'Brien, where they killed him by blowing his fucking head off. Remember this. 2008 Video Game Awards Explosive Cocks. Jack Black hosted the 2008 Spike Video Game Awards and also performed as Tenacious D to begin the show, ending their performance by shooting huge sparks out of their rigged underwear, hence the title of Explosive Cocks. Jeopardy! Jeopardy is a game show that started in 1964 and continues on today. It's famous for both its format where they give you the answers you have to provide the question, and its theme song, Think. I'm mentioning it because one time Tenacious D was an answer on Jeopardy! On the March 15th, 2018 airing of Jeopardy! One of the questions were, Jack Black moonlights in this persistent band with partner Kyle Gass, with the obvious answer being, what is Tenacious D? Master Exploder actually performed live. Master Exploder from the Pick of Destiny is one of the more popular songs from the movie, however it is a really difficult song to play, which is why in almost all live performances of it they use a backing track and basically just lip sync up to it. However, around 2018 they actually started playing the song live, which because of the difficulty on the song, mainly on vocals and guitars, it's really cool to see it being performed live. Bob Odenkirk wrote Friendship Test. Bob Odenkirk is an actor and also comedy writer well known for his role as Saul Goodman / Jimmy McGill in Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. He has also written for the band for the skits like the previously mentioned Friendship Test and also co-wrote Flutes and Trombones from Rise of the Phoenix. He also wrote for the Tenacious D TV show alongside David Cross and even his brother Bill Odenkirk. Are they actually friends? I feel like for most duo groups, this question comes up very often. If they're actually friends, or if they just work together and nothing else. But for Tenacious D, Jack and Kyle are actually friends outside of the band. However, when they first met as both being members of the Actors Gang theater troupe, they weren't exactly on good terms, as Kyle was jealous of Jack for being younger and later on even saying that he felt threatened as an actor by Jack. Evangelion mashups. This entry is referring to the videos made by Camcom on YouTube that mashes up both Neon Genesis Evangelion and Tenacious D for both the audio and visuals. And these videos are simply amazing. Currently there are 3 videos mashing up Master Exploder, Tribute, and History. I would highly recommend watching these as they are some of my favorite videos on YouTube, especially the one for Tribute. Tier 5. City Hall Hidden Songs. City Hall is the final track on the band's first album, however, it's actually not the last song on the album, as if you listen just 2 seconds after the song ends, the skit I Believe plays, and if you wait another minute after the skit ends, the song Malibu Nights Medley plays. Both songs are neat as they are hidden, but honestly really aren't anything special in my opinion. At the end of the song Karate, there is a hidden message that's hidden by backmasking, or playing a sound clip in reverse. It's just Jack Black saying donkey crap. The Complete Masterworks Part 2 DVD. The Complete Masterworks 2 is a sequel DVD to the first Complete Masterworks. This one contains another live concert, a tour documentary, the clip of Jack and Kyle performing Master Exploder on Conan, the band performing Friendship at the 2006 MTV Video Music Awards, the band performing The Metal on SNL, the music video for Classico, and the short Tenacious D Time Fixers. Kyle Gass Solo Projects. Other than Tenacious D, Kyle Gass has worked on his own musical projects. Trainwreck is a comedy rock band formed in 2002 by Kyle Gass and J.R. Reed, and looking through their backlog of stuff, they really haven't done too much, as the band was mainly formed so Kyle could keep working on music-related stuff while unable to continue with Tenacious D for a while because Jack was furthering his acting career at the time. And even though Trainwreck broke up in 2010 and reformed in 2018, they really haven't released any new music since 2009. The second big Kyle Gass solo project is the Kyle Gass Band, formed in 2011 by one, Kyle Gass, after Trainwreck had broken up. I don't really know what to say about this one. They're a rock band, they made 2 albums, they've toured Europe, and occasionally when they can't get the whole band together, they just perform acoustically as the Kyle Gass Company. However, there is one more Kyle Gass project I want to talk about, but in its own entry. Guitarings. Guitarings is a YouTube channel run by Kyle Gass and John Koneski, who is the main electric guitar player for Tenacious D. They made videos teaching people how to perform Tenacious D songs on guitar after Kyle had gotten annoyed seeing people make inaccurate tutorials. On the same channel, they also did other smaller things like equipment reviews and fan mail reading. Rumor that Tribute is a tribute to Stairway to Heaven. Alright, this is the first and only rumor I'm going to be talking about on this list. So if you Google stuff about the song Tribute, you might see in the People Also Ask section something along the lines of, is Tribute a tribute to Stairway to Heaven? But if you click on it, you just see a thing talking about how older versions, meaning the version used in the TV show, use chords from Stairway to Heaven by Led Zeppelin. I've also seen some YouTube comments talk about how the song itself is a tribute to Stairway to Heaven. However, this isn't entirely the case, as back around the early to mid-90s, Jack Black called One by Metallica the greatest song in the world. In conversation and in response, Kyle Gass said that there's no way they could write the greatest song in the world, but in response to that, Jack said they could write a tribute, and thus the idea for the song was born. However, later in an interview, the band said that the song itself is inspired by both One and Stairway to Heaven, but that doesn't exactly make it a tribute to Stairway to Heaven, or even One for all that matter. In all honesty, I don't think the song is actually a tribute to any specific song. More or less that the whole joke of the song is that they can't remember what the greatest song in the world sounds like, so they make a tribute to it instead. But before moving on to the next entry, a fun fact I want to point out is that in the Pick of Destiny movie, after Jables and KG go home after beating the devil in Beelzebub, they then tried to remember what the song sounded like, but forget, possibly making tribute, in the lore of the movie, a tribute to Beelzebub. 15-foot-tall ejaculating phoenix statue. For their Rise of the Phoenix tour, the band had a huge 15-foot-tall phoenix stage prop that resembled the penis-shaped phoenix on the cover of the album that would loom behind them while they performed, and it would even, quote-unquote, ejaculate onto the audience. And also in 2015, the stage prop was auctioned off with the proceeds going to charity. Biodome. Biodome is a 1996 comedy film starring Pauly Shore and Stephen Baldwin, and is also considered to be one of the worst movies of all time. But it's also where Tenacious D got their first on-screen appearance, for about 8 seconds. They even wrote an original song to sing in the movie called 5 Needs. Played at an anti-Trump show. In 2017, the supergroup Prophets of Rage performed an anti-Donald Trump show in LA, and Tenacious D, being invited as guest to the concert, very fittingly played The Government Totally Sucks from the Pick of Destiny at the show. Tier 6. Kyle Gass on Seinfeld. In the 9th episode of the 8th season of Seinfeld, The Abstinence, when Kramer gets kicked out of the diner for smoking inside, the person he talks to outside afterwards is none other than Kyle Gass. As both a big Tenacious D and Seinfeld fan, it's really cool to see him there. Side note, this is also the episode where Elaine dates Bob Odenkirk, who is studying to become a doctor in the episode. Spider-Man. In older Tenacious D concerts, they would do a bit where Kyle would play an acoustic version of the 60s Spider-Man cartoon theme, while J.R. Reed, wearing a crappy Spider-Man costume, would run around stage, perform light stunts, spray silly string, and fight people and shit. And for vocals, Jack would narrate the actions of Spidey and his combatants to the acoustic theme. It would also be entirely improv, so there wouldn't be an exact same Spider-Man performance in any concert, making each one performed unique. And after watching 3 different versions of the bit on YouTube, it's honestly a very good and funny bit. Sadly, because the bit is all improv and involves a copyrighted character, there isn't some kind of master recording of it. So the only evidence of its existence is from people who recorded parts of older concerts and also a small section for one of their tour documentaries. Another video that came up when searching for the Spider-Man concert bits was from a bit or advert from one of the MTV Movie Awards, where Tobey Maguire gets bit by a radioactive Jack Black spider and turns into Jack Black. Just thought it was interesting enough to bring up in this entry. wanna see some real analog horror?
They fucking have a new respect for sassafras.
Times Square Hunger Strike. To promote the release of the Complete Masterworks DVD, a day before its release, Jack and Kyle announced that they were going to be staging a hunger strike where they would be suspended in a glass cage hanging over Times Square that would last 45 days. However, after being hoisted up in the cage, they only lasted about 23 minutes before starting to eat M&Ms they stashed in their pockets before being lowered down and taken away by paramedics. This event was meant to parody the real-life hunger strike stunt David Blaine pulled in London just a few months prior to this one. The worst concert ever. When Jack and Kyle were on Hot Ones, they were asked the question, what was the most disastrous live performance they've ever done? Which Kyle responds with, the Miller Genuine Draft. This refers to a radio contest Miller Genuine Draft did in the 90s called The Blind Date, where the winners would be flown out to see an unknown band. As they both stated in the video, immediately as the curtain opened and everyone saw that Tenacious D was their mystery band, they just started booing them and the band was getting stuff thrown at them the whole time. EP and covers. Over the course of all their years performing, the band has released a bunch of smaller scale releases such as EPs, covers, and random other singles. Basically, in this entry, I'm just going to try my best to talk about every Tenacious D song or album I haven't mentioned up to this point. D Fun Pack was an EP released in 2002 that contained a few extra songs from the band's demo tape that weren't remastered for the self-titled album's release, as well as a remix of Explosivo done by a Motion Worker. Jazz is another EP released in 2012 that only has one song on it, titled Simply Jazz, which goes on for a little under 11.5 minutes. It is a comedic take on the genre, with Jack doing the vocals and Kyle on the recorder. On the vinyl release of the EP, the B-side contains a skit titled Nothing on B-side. In 2014, Tenacious D made a cover of The Last in Line by Dio for the Ronnie James Dio tribute album, This Is Your Life. In 2015, they released the live album, Tenacious D Live, as a compilation of songs they played during their 2012 and 2013 Rise of the Phoenix and European tour concerts. For Black Friday 2019, the band released a 7-inch single titled Don't Blow It Cage, which is produced by Jack White, most known for being a member of the band The White Stripes. In 2020, they released a cover of the song Time Warp to promote Rock the Vote, to encourage people to vote in the 2020 presidential election. Also in 2020, for the DreamWorks movie, The Croods and New Age, the band made a song called I Think I Love You, which plays during the end credits. In 2021, the band released a tribute to the Beatles songs You Never Give Me Your Money and The End, with all the proceeds of the 7-inch vinyl going to the charity Doctors Without Borders. In 2022, the band made a medley of songs by The Who, simply titled The Who Medley, with once again having a 7-inch vinyl release where all the proceeds go to charity, but this time the charity being Every Town for Gun Safety. And finally, to promote their 2023 Spicy Meatball Tour, they made a short new song to play during their tour titled The Spicy Meatball Song. The song itself is just the Indiana Jones theme, but with Jack singing about spicy meatballs. Song cut from first album. The first Tenacious D album has 21 songs on it, but did you know it could have had more? On the Tenacious D demo tape, there was a song titled Jesus Ranch that was also played during the TV show segment Road Gig. During the studio recording for the first album, the song had a new recording of it done, but according to Jack Black, it didn't cut the mustard, so it was cut from the album. However, this version of the song was eventually released on the previously mentioned EP D Fun Pack. Tier 7. New Zealand earthquake incident. In 2011, Tenacious D opened a show for the Foo Fighters, and midway through their set in the surrounding area, a very low earthquake frequency, peaking at 3 Hz, was picked up and was matching the rhythmic motion to the concert. It lasted from midway through the Tenacious D set, and continued through when the Foo Fighters got on stage, and only stopped after the show itself had ended. Don't mind sucking on toes. A foot fetish is a pronounced sexual interest in feet. It is the most common form of sexual fetishism for otherwise non-sexual objects or body parts. The reason I'm mentioning this is because in the song Double Team, there's a line, and then you feel something down by your feet. It's me, it's JB, I'm sucking on your toes. We don't mind sucking on toes. Hinting at a possible Tenacious D foot fetish because the line, we don't mind sucking on toes, might hint at both the Jack Black and Kyle Gass foot fetish. Tiananmen Square. In the song Karate, there's the opening line, with karate I'll kick your ass from here to Tiananmen Square, which is a really long way to kick your ass from, so let's calculate how long it would take. For starters, let's assume that you're in Los Angeles when Jack Black starts kicking your ass. He would have to kick your ass for about 6,248 miles, or 10,055 kilometers. Now let's get down to more of the math. If it averagely takes a person 75 to 100 minutes to walk 5 miles, it would take 93,720 to 124,960 minutes, which is about 65 to 87 days to walk 6,248 miles from LA to Tiananmen Square. And because he would have to be kicking your ass the whole way there, and this is also Jack Black we're talking about, it would definitely be closer to the 87-day mark, if not longer and more closer to 90 days. Not to mention, you would both have to be magically floating over water most of the way, but maybe he'd be able to juggle you like a fighting game character would or something. The total Tenacious D body count. And now, for the final entry on this iceberg, is a theory coming from yours truly. So we all know Tenacious D fucks, right? I mean, clearly from all the lore, they fuck. Kill Boss is about sex, Hard Fucking is about sex, Fuck Her Gently is about sex, Cock Push-Ups is about Jack doing push-ups by exclusively using his cock to strengthen it, Double Team is about sex, and in Post-Apocalypto, they just have so much sex, it's fucking crazy. I'm probably even forgetting some other examples too. They just talk about and have so much sex, but they've never revealed their official body count, which at this point has to be in the thousands, if not 10,000s, and they haven't stopped yet. By the time both Jack Black and Kyle Gass die, they'll be able to rival Genghis Khan with how many descendants they'll have. But now for the other side of the term body count. Just how many people have they slain in their glory of the Rock? If you remember from earlier, they fucking killed Conan, blowing his head off. They've also done this to the guy in the Master Exploder scene in the movie, and probably more, who knows? They've defeated multiple demons, including Satan himself, so I'm pretty sure by this point, they're just completely unstoppable, both in terms of physical prowess and sexual energy. Shit, they fucking found me. Oh, and shit, they found out what I've done. Oh, they're gonna blow my fucking head off. No, shit. No.
I'm alive!
Thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. It really means a lot to me that you would sit through and watch some dumb project I made. I don't really have anything I want to plug or talk about at the end here, so I just want to say that I hope you enjoyed the video. Maybe leave a like or a comment if you want. And as for subscribing, I guess you can if you want to, but you probably won't be seeing much more out of me. At least nothing super soon. Like the last 2 videos I made were back in 2021, so yeah. And with that, remember, this is just a tribute.